So we finally got the finale for Daredevil Born Again, and it had some badass action, it had some fan favorite characters returning, and it set up a lot of cool things for season two. But as much as I loved it for an episode, I didn't necessarily love it for a finale. Let's talk about it. Now, if you already feel like Wilson Fisk and want to trap me in the basement and torture me like he did to Adam, I completely get it. I know a lot of you are loving it out there, but I will say, spoiler alert, I'm probably going to be talking about a few things that pop up in this episode, and I will save some of those smaller nitpicks for the end of the video. First off, some of the highlights. Both of these actors' dynamics still absolutely fire. The action scenes were top notch. Yeah, no complaints. Getting Deborah and Woolback / Karen, I thought this was also a huge W. She affects everything that Matt does in this episode, and it's awesome to see that she's going to be coming back for season 2. Fisk reminds us in this episode why he is still the villain. It was like the Penguin reveal in a sense. You know, we knew he was bad, obviously, but there was these moments throughout the season that makes you think maybe he's actually going to be a good guy. Maybe he's actually trying to go straight, but no, he's just using the Red Hook thing to really just kind of build out his Kingpin empire. Also, he like pops a dude's head, which is without a doubt is the most violent thing we've seen in the MCU. It was brutal. Which brings me to my first nitpick. If Fisk's plan the whole time was to become mayor so that he could funnel more money through Red Hook and build out his Kingpin empire, why wouldn't he just tell Vanessa earlier when she was obviously just looking to be with the Kingpin? I don't know. Now, the scene leading up to this with Frank taking on the whole vigilante task force by himself was absolutely sick. It was badass. It was tough. It was brutal. But strangely enough, I might be alone here. I actually prefer the dialogue from the comics as opposed to what he said in the show. In Punisher number 13, he tells the cops, I'll say this once. We're not the same. You took an oath to uphold the law. You help people. I gave that up a long time ago. You don't do what I do. Nobody does. If you need a role model, his name's Captain America, and he'd be happy to have you. Which, in a world where Captain America exists, like, he could have easily said this, but I know, again, a nitpick. In some of the last scenes, we see that Matt and Karen decide that they have to build their own army. At this moment, I was super excited, hoping that we'd see some type of defender or some other hero or vigilante from the MCU. And we got this group, which is cool. There's people we've definitely met throughout the season, but it was just a little lackluster, and I was kind of just disappointed by it. But I think the number one thing I was pretty bummed about is that we never got to see these two guys back together again. I know we got season 2 coming up, but it just would have been nice to kind of end cap this in some way where they have to kind of confront each other again. I don't know. Looking forward to it. At this point, I'm sure a bunch of you disagree with me, which is completely fine. And thank you for tuning in here at Nerd Edition.